Hello, my name is Charlene Murdoch. I'm the Executive Director of the Campbell County Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm visiting with Duffy Jenniges, who was running for House District 52. So Duffy, thank you for being with us today. We've invited you to talk with us about your views on business issues.
Thank you.
Welcome. And as a start, can you give us an example of a way you've supported the Campbell County business community?
I try everywhere. I travel all over the state, and I try and do the best I can to hold Gillette, Wyoming up as a shining example of progress, moving forward constantly. So I guess you might say I'm a cheerleader for the city of Gillette, state of Wyoming also.
All right, thank you. As you look to becoming an elected official, what would you do to improve the overall business climate for Wyoming?
I think the business of Wyoming, I started a number of years ago when I was running for office, and what I mentioned was instead of taking and extracting all the raw materials out of the ground and sending them out of state to be produced, that we should set up our own operation in the state of Wyoming and go ahead and produce them raw materials and turn around and sell the finished products, cut the middleman out of the picture. It would be beneficial to us. Not that I'm a great speaker or anything, but after I mentioned that, I noticed a good example of what I was talking about is we now have the Dry Fork Power Station, which takes coal from mine mouth to plant, produces electricity. We can use it here, and we can also sell it out of state. We have two facilities at Wyatt that are able to work on natural gas, which we have in abundance, and sell the electricity out of state. We need to do more of that rather than just give out raw materials and then end up paying a premium price when in this case, the commodity being electricity comes back to us, end up paying a premium price for it. That's what we need to do. We need to work on our infrastructure in a big way. We need to think definitely outside of the box. Make more power plants, burn the natural resources we're taking out of the ground right here, and sell the electricity. And the other part of that equation that nobody wants to address is we can have all the electricity in the world, but if we don't have transmission lines to get it out of the state of Wyoming and into the grid, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So we have to work at it on two levels at the same time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jenniges. When you think about Wyoming for the next 3 to 5 years, can you tell us about your vision for Wyoming? And as an elected official, what can you do to help make that vision a reality?
As I just mentioned before, I'm an advocate of the energy industry, as it were. I think we can do a better job of taking what we have, marketing it, selling it, and as what I can do as an individual. Right now in the legislature, we have 51 Republicans and 9 Democrats in the House, 26 Republicans and 4 Democrats in the Senate, so I'm only one voice. But hopefully I can get a chance to reach across the table and get other people to take a look at my vision. And if I talk long enough and hard enough, maybe I get a chance to get them to go ahead and embrace it and move forward on it. And that isn't just a 3 to 5 year picture. I feel like that would be a picture that would be good for the next 50 to 75 years.
All right, well, thank you. So is there anything you would like to add before we finish up here?
Well, like I said, the main thing that I want to point out is regardless of what party you are, you're only one member out of 90. So you've got to have what I consider people skills. You've got to be able to talk to the other people that you're working with and convince them, for lack of a better way of putting it, that your way is the right way. Your way is the better way to go. And if you do that job, we can move forward. If you don't do that job and you can't get across them party lines, business is going to be going the same way that it's going right now. And I'm sorry, but it's just like the bus cycle that we're in right now, folks. Everybody goes, I didn't see that coming. The people that are in business around here seen it coming 2 to 2.5 years ago. And it's not the first bus cycle we've been through. I've only been here since 1978. I've been through 4 bus cycles since 1978. We come out of every one. But unless we get our forces together and marshal it and take control of our resources and use them to the best of our ability, one of these days we're going to hit a bus cycle and we may not come out of the next one. That's what we need to do. We need to start thinking outside of the box, thinking big, and planning long range, not just 3 to 5 years, but far into the future, because the future is what we have to give to our next generation. Along them lines, one of the things we need to look at for this state is simply this. I have a real hard time with having a 4-year university that on the side there as an adjunct has an engineering school and has an outstanding setup of courses that it teaches and classes that it teaches, that every time we get ready to do a big project that the state of Wyoming thinks they have to go outside the state to get the masterminds to come in and put a plan together. I'm a firm believer that the kids we're graduating from the University of Wyoming today are smart enough and in tune enough that they should be able to take this state's destiny into their own hands and plan for it and implement it and see it go through, rather than keep going outside the state. For every project we have, we should be able to take care of ourselves. We pride ourselves on being cowboy tough, being independent thinkers, so on and so forth. We need to follow through on that rather than drop the ball and keep running to somebody else for information and background when we need it. We should be able to do that right in this state.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jenniges, for being with us today. Stay tuned for other candidates and watch the interviews on GPA TV, Channel 192.